Chapter 3 deals with data handling. Now, every day we come across a plethora of data. There are many sources of data and we require data for making meaningful information. For example, marks of a student are collected by a teacher so that a report card can be made. The marks of different students of a class can be used for comparison purpose. We collect data for temperature, for rainfall, for population. We collect the data for different players. For example, in a cricket match, the average score, the number of runs scored by a batsman, the number of matches played, the number of catches he has taken. So, a lot of data is collected, and this data makes us make this data into different forms of graphs, and we can handle this data effectively by calculating different measures of central tendency. Now, in data handling, we will be seeing different forms of measures by which we can make all this information meaningful. One of them we will see is mean, which is the average. The other we will be seeing is the median, which is actually the mid value, and the other we will be seeing is the mode, which is the maximum occurring frequency. So, these are the three measures of central tendency, which is going to make all the data collected a little more informative, a little more meaningful. We also have range. Range is basically the highest value minus the lowest value. So, these are different things which we will discuss one by one. Now, how do we collect data? Data is basically information. This information, as I told, could be of different forms, but we can collect it basically from two sources. Either we can collect it ourselves, that is called the primary data, or we can get it from other sources, that is secondary data. So, suppose you are given an assignment that you have to record the temperature of a particular month every day. Let us say the month of October, starting from 1, 2, 3 right up to the end of the month 31st October, we have to record the temperatures. Now, let us say on day 1 you decide to hang a thermometer and then record the thermometer temperature, and you are doing it yourself, then that sort of temperature, let us say the temperature is 38 degrees centigrade, when you are recording it yourself, that is an example of primary data. But it is not necessary that this data that you collect, you have to do it yourself. You can just watch the news, or you can read a magazine, or you can find it out from other sources like radio or from your friends. Then that sort of data will be a secondary data, means you are collecting this same information by other sources. You are doing it yourself, that is primary. You are collecting from other sources, that becomes secondary. So, we have primary data and secondary data, and all this data, if it is not organized, does not make much significance, which means that let us say if there is a class of 40 students and the teacher is writing the marks obtained of these 40 students. Let us say there is a test out of 25 and you have whole lot of data here. So, let us say we are having data here, this test is out of 50, 40, 41 and so on and so forth. You will have n number of observation depending on the number of students. So, you have 40 observations here. Now, if you look at this data, it is not arranged in any particular order. These are all random numbers, these are random marks. So, such type of data which is not arranged in any particular order is called a raw data. So, we will have to construct this raw data, we have to make this into a group data.